Operation corrected stem. We're going to move forward with the second speaker, and well, actually, Professor Karma contacted us about a month ago, and unfortunately, he was having some duties in Spain and could not be traveling to the US. But we are extremely delighted that Professor Christina Martinez, also from the Chemical Institute of Technology in Valencia, could join us and present this work. You may know her very well from her outstanding review. It was just recently published, and in coordination chemistry reviews. And she will be focusing today on designing MFI-based catalysts and improved catalyst life for protein and pentane oligomerization to high-quality liquid fuels. I would also like to recognize her co-authors, Eric Goskesil and Professor Valentino Korma. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this very kind introduction. Thank you all. Good morning. So first, before beginning with the presentation of these results, I would like to speak on behalf of Professor Korma. As the chairman said, that he was not able to come and to join you here today. I know, I can tell you he was really looking forward to be in this symposium in honor of Dr. Davis. But, well, on the other hand, this has given me the opportunity and the chance to be here. I'm delighted. It's a pleasure for me, really. And I would like to thank you for the invitation again. So I will present work that has been done in collaboration with researchers from BP Projects of North America. It deals with the design of optimized ZSM5-based catalysts for the oligomerization of light olefins into liquid fuels, especially diesel. So, as you all know, the demand of middle distillates, and especially diesel, is increasing very much during the last years, and this is especially true in Europe. Not only the amount or the demand of diesel is increasing, also the quality requirements are getting more and more strict due to environmental concerns. So both conventional and also Fischer-Tropsch-based refineries are looking for alternative routes in order to increase this diesel production. And light olefin oligomerization is a very interesting process. It is interesting because it produces liquid fuels, free of sulfur and free of aromatics. Besides this, it also has additional advantages. For example, it's a very flexible process regarding the final products that we want to obtain. And so it is possible to direct the production towards gasoline or towards diesel just by modifying the operation conditions. This was already shown by the group of Tatak from Mobile in this paper of 88. And here what you can see is that when we move into higher temperatures, we increase the formation of lighter products, as well as going to lower pressures. And this will give, therefore, oligomers in the range of gasoline. But if we want to move into diesel, we will have to go to lower temperatures and increased pressures. So this will allow choose the fuels that we want to produce. Regarding the catalyst for oligomerization, very different catalysts have been described in the literature. We have non-cyclic heterogeneous catalysts, such as the solid phosphoric acid, for instance. This is mainly used for polygasoline obtention, and it is not very adequate for diesel production because it produces highly branched products, so we should look into other alternatives. Transition metal-based catalysts like nickel catalysts that have been used specifically for oligomerization of ethylene into linear oligomers, and then zeolite-based catalysts. As I already mentioned, the early studies of the group of Mobile on ZSM5 give very detailed information on this process. And other zeolite-based catalysts have also been described. And for a gas phase and also for supercritical state oligomerization, most of them medium pore zeolites. And this is so because the shape selectivity of these medium pore zeolites will limit the branching and will also limit the degree of growing of the oligomers. So we will direct again the production towards the molecules that we want to obtain, the products that we want to obtain. Large pore zeolites are also known to oligomerize when working in the liquid phase. So as we saw, the benefits of zeolites when they are used as solid catalysts for this process are the shape selectivity and the confinement effect. However, especially when we move into large crystal zeolites, it is possible that part of the active sites will not participate in the reaction because of intracrystalline diffusional problems within the pores within the micropores. So different approaches have been done. So very overall, in order to obtain zeolites with larger pores or zeolites that combine micro and mesopores. So besides designing extra large pore zeolites or synthesizing mesopore zeolites directly, we can also go and generate mesopores by post-synthesis treatments. And this is what we are going to focus on. The post-synthesis generation of mesopores is usually done by demethylation. So on one hand, we can remove aluminium. Usually this is done by acid leaching, by hydrothermal treatments, or by a combination of both. And, well, a very well-known example is the production of zeolite Y for a catalytic FCC, for a catalytic cracking. So here you can see a scheme of how the combination of acid leaching and steam will generate the mesopores that will give accessibility to the micropores. And in these very beautiful images, what you can see are slices through the crystallites of zeolite Y and mordenite, where mesopores have been generated by these methods that have been reconstructed based on three-dimensional 10 microscopy. It's very, very beautiful images by the group of So the other approach is by removing silicon of the framework. This was already dealt with in the middle 90s by the group of Van Maal, where they used basic solutions in order to silicate zeolites X, Y, or Z and 5. Dow Chemicals also claimed the use of sodium aluminate in order to remove silicon and generate mesopores in zeolites that were difficult to dealuminate. Because, well, I didn't say it before, but dealumination processes are usually employed when we have zeolites with high aluminium content. It is difficult to dealuminate zeolites with higher silicon to aluminum ratio without destroying the framework, or well, without removing. So then they moved into desiccation. And in the last decade, this topic has been extensively revisited. And the improvement and the technological advances of the characterization techniques, especially of high resolution 10 SEM techniques, have allowed that this process could be followed very closely. So here we have two schemes, two schematic representations of what could be desiccation. On one hand, how the morphology of the parent zeolite can influence the final sample. Here, besides the generation of mesopores, we will deagglomerate. And in this picture, you can see how, depending on the aluminum content of the parent sample, the desiccation evolves and may need the additional techniques in order to get the final improved sample. So the objectives of our work was to obtain a ZSM5-based catalyst for oligomerization with increased catalyst life. And we would do that without losing, trying not to lose the shape selectivity that is necessary to obtain a high quality diesel. So in the first part of the work, you will see how, starting from a set of commercial zeolites, very well characterized, we could learn which parameters are affecting more: the activity, catalyst decay, and the selectivity to diesel. And then in the second step, we will apply this knowledge in order to try to optimize the silication process to obtain an optimum catalyst. So these are the zeolites that we have worked with. 3 tricat zeolites have been selected, which have the same silicon to aluminum ratio, but they differ in the crystal size, as you can see by this. So we have a small crystal zeolite, around 200 nanometers average crystal size, a medium size, around 900 nanometers, and a large crystal size that is almost 2 micrometers. And besides these 2 zeolites, we have 2 samples from zeolist that are small crystallite size, comparable to the small crystal size zeolite tricat, but with different silicon to aluminum ratios. For the rest, the textural properties were very similar among them. They were supplied in their harmonic form. And, well, let's see part of that characterization, the rest. Their acidity was measured by infrared spectroscopy combined with pyridine absorption and then absorption at increasing temperatures. And what you can see first is that the 3 samples of tricat with a silicon to aluminum ratio of 10 present a larger acidity than 2 samples of zeolist, with quite lower Lewis acidity. The Lewis acidity being representative of the degree of extra framework aluminium well dispersed that could be present in the micropores. And then what we can see is that the sample with intermediate silicon to aluminum ratio is a little bit different from the rest. It presents a very important amount of Lewis acid site, and its total bronze acidity is lower than expected. And this can be explained because the sample presents a larger dealumination degree, and all these species will be present within the macroporous structure. We can also obtain more information from the infrared spectra. This is the hydroxyl region, and this peak around 3600 corresponds to the acid bridging hydroxyls of the zeolites. And the dotted lines are the same, the spectra corresponding to those samples after absorption of pyridine. So what you can see is that even for the 2 samples with the largest crystal size, all the acid hydroxyls are accessible to pyridine because the peak completely disappears after interaction with the protomolecule. So let's go into the results. When we look at the results that we have, well, the experiments have been performed in a downflow fixed bed reactor, 200 degrees, 40 bar, 0.17 hours contact time, and the feedstock has been a propane mixture in a molar ratio of 60 to 40. So when we tested the medium and large pore zeolites, what you can see is that the activity is quite low in these conditions, and they present a very important deactivation with time on stream. However, when we tested the small crystal size zeolite in the same conditions, you can see the activity is much higher, and besides, it is more or less pretty stable with time on stream, indicating a much lower deactivation rate, if any, in these reaction conditions. Now, remember that all these samples had a very high acid site density, very similar among them. So what we can learn from this part is that if we want to oligomerize properly, it is not sufficient to have a highly acid zeolite. We need the diffusional path lengths through the crystallite to be short. So it is absolutely necessary to have small crystal size. Let's see how the rest of the zeolites compare. This is the zeolist sample with the highest silicon to aluminum ratio. This was comparable with the small crystal size zeolite of tricat in everything except in the silicon to aluminum ratio. And what we can see is that the activity is reduced. So when we decrease the number of active sites, for samples with small crystallite size, we can see a decrease in the activity as could be expected. But we had another sample with an intermediate silicon to aluminum ratio that perhaps we would expect to be over here, the activity, and instead it performs much worse than the other two small zeolites. Small crystallite zeolites. And this is due to the presence of the extraflumic aluminium that probably is hindering the diffusion of reactants and products because it is staying as debris within the micropore structure. So diffusion and pore blocking problems result in a poor performance of the zeolite of intermediate silicon aluminum. Regarding the selectivity to the different products, it has been determined in the accumulated liquids for periods of 3 hours. And what you can see is that in these conditions and for these small crystallite zeolites, the selectivity to diesel is high, considerably higher than the selectivity to naphtha. So we're in the right direction. However, when we have lower activity, we also will run into lower selectivity of the diesel. And this is also reasonable because if we decrease the number of acid sites, we will decrease the possibility of consecutive reactions. And you have to think that for obtaining a diesel molecule, you need at least 4 oligomerization steps to happen. So as a summary of what we have seen up to now, what we can say is that if we have small zeolite crystals, the activity could be proportional to the acid site peroxide acid site density, but when we use larger crystals, we will lose activity, probably because a small fraction of the sites is not participating in the reaction, and because these samples are also more prone to pore blocking. So the diffusion path length should be as short as possible, and this is why we went into the optimization of this best performing sample by means of disallocation procedures. So the TCAT zeolite with small crystals and silicon aluminum ratio of 10 has been modified in different conditions. Has been treated with sodium hydroxide solution, and as could be expected for a sample with this aluminium content, mild conditions were not efficient for generating mesopores, and we have had to go to concentrations of 0.5 molar and longer reaction times in order to observe the generation of mesopores. We pushed the reaction a little bit further and increased the concentration of the base, and in order to see what result this was leading to. So after the basic treatment, the sample has been treated with oxalic acid. The means of this was really to selectivate the external surface, that is to dealuminate preferentially the external surface of the zeolite, and therefore to avoid the undesired reactions that could give place to more branched oligomers. So mainly it was for product quality improvement. But we also saw that with this treatment, sodium was removed, the sodium from the basic treatment. So we didn't need any additional ammonium exchanges. However, in order to compare, we also prepared a sample by conventional ammonium exchange. And so we will see also how the different acid site distribution, so richer or poorer aluminum concentration on the external surface, will affect the catalytic activity. Here we have silicon to aluminum ratios, all of them higher than 40, and in this case, the silicon to aluminum ratio remains in 7. That is the value that we obtain after the basic treatment. Oh, sorry. So you can see that surface area is increased, mainly due to an important increase in the mesopore volume, but what is more important, although it is slightly reduced, we are not losing very much micropore. This is very important. And just in order to illustrate this ammonium exchange, you can see that in this case, that the dislocation has been the same as this one, same treatment. Here we have important mesopore, yes, and very nice surface area. And in this case we have surface area comparable to the parent and a decreased mesopores. So that those ammonium exchanges there, we are losing the mesopores that we were preparing initially. The surface acid, the acidity, we can see that we reduced the peroxide acidity. That could be expected because we are removing aluminium. And again, the sample with the ammonium exchange outstands because it presents a high amount of total Lewis acidity, indicative of a high amount of extraframework aluminium species. So let's take a look at the catalysis. Here we compare the parent zeolite with the zeolite just treated by oxalic acid and with a mild basic treatment, and then always treated with oxalic. What we can see is that in these cases where no mesoporosity was generated, the only effect that we had was the loss of acidity. We have a loss in catalytic activity. So this goes in line with what we have seen in the first part of the work. However, if we generate mesoporosity, like the one obtained in this treatment, you can see a considerable activity increase, and the conversion stabilizes at values above 90 during the whole run. However, if we go too far with the mesopore formation and we get too high mesopore volume, we lose part of the micropore volume, we lose acidity, and then the generation of mesoporosity is not compensating anymore in terms of activity. Let's take a look at the aluminium distribution. Here we compare, here should be an A. Here we are comparing the sample obtained by the ammonium exchange with the optimum sample obtained by the final oxalic treatment. And you can see that in this case, where we had very high aluminium content, both in bulk and also external, but also a very high proportion of this aluminium in extra-framework positions, you can see here the performance is quite worse. It is much worse than in the case of the optimized mesopore sample. So acid site distribution is really a very important parameter in this case. Regarding the selectivity, this is also remarkable. You saw by the characterization that we lost some acid site density, and we also generated some extra-framework aluminium, and still we are maintaining quite high levels of selectivity to diesel. And this can be explained because we have not lost the microporosity of the samples. So we are increasing the accessibility, but the micropores are still there and are able to carry out this shape selectivity job of keeping the product distribution as it has to. So the key parameters for propylene oligomerization to diesel on section 5 are first an adequate micro and mesoporosity combination. This can be obtained by reducing crystal size, but can be further improved by desilicating in the optimized conditions. But it cannot happen if we don't have an optimum closed acid site and density and an optimum acid site distribution. And we are able to obtain this in one step by this oxalic acid treatment necessary. And now I want to show you how this optimum sample performs for oligomerization of pentene. As you know, when we move to larger olefins, we have more problems of oligomerization to more bulky products, because with the same number of steps we get larger molecules, larger products, and also poor blocking and coating. So exactly in the same conditions as we tested the parent zeolite for propene oligomerization, and where it presented a stable behavior towards ion stream, you can see that here, despite the high initial activity, we have a very important deactivation. So this goes in line with what we already knew. And now, if we test the optimized, the improved ZSM5, you can see the catalyst life is maintained during the whole run. No deactivation is observed. So it seems, or what we have seen, is that the improvement of this combined mesopore generation and oxalic acid selectivation has resulted in much more effective, or the differences are larger when we go into oligomerization of larger olefins. So this is the diesel, the selectivity within the products, and it's also remarkable because with pentene, the main products were dimers, and they fall out of the diesel range. And then when you use the disilicate sample, you can see that the improved accessibility also helps to the formation of diesel range molecules. So diesel selectivity goes above 50%. So regarding the conclusions, we came to the conclusion regarding propene oligomerization. We have seen that in order to have a highly active zeolite produced, high oxidation crystallites are needed. The mesopore generation will be beneficial acidity preserved. And also that bronze distribution has a very much effect, especially in catalyst activation. And for pentene oligomerization, the accessibility gain becomes crucial, more than acid site density. Finally, thank you for financial support, permission to publish, and incentives for technology support, and you for your attention. Thank you very much.
We have time for a couple of questions.
I'm sorry I missed the beginning of your talk. Christina, you may have addressed this. What is